Today we're going to talk about the triangle offense in football. Simple concepts from the AirRaid that you can adapt to your offense to score points. Stay tuned. All right, coaches, welcome back to the channel. This is Coach Coltharp coming to you again on AirRaid Nation. I'm so glad to be back. We took about a month off. We were moving, not moving, gonna do this, gonna do that, waiting to see what was going on with our own season, and I just blew up and said, you know what, I need a break. But guess what? Today we're back, and today we're gonna talk about football's triangle offense. I'm gonna give you some simple concepts that are rooted in the AirRaid that you can apply to your offense to help you move the chains and score points. And if these are the kind of videos that you like, man, I'd love if you'd like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it. Matter of fact, if this video gets 200 likes in the first 2 days, I'll give away a free Foundations of the AirRaid course on CoachTube. So like the video, I'll take all the people that do that, we'll put it in, and I'll put a code out, and everybody can get a chance at a free video. Also, there's an opportunity to join the channel. You can join and support the channel for $1.99 a month. And at the end of this month, I'm going to go through all the members and I'm going to give away an entire catalog of 92 Meshgroup videos on CoachTube. So for $1.99 a month, at the end of every month, I'll give away one catalog to one of the random members. So if you want to join the channel for $1.99 a month, get a chance to win a whole catalog, but also get some other special perks and help me support doing these videos, I really would appreciate it. Be sure to like the video. Now let's get into the material. All right, guys, let's jump into the video and talk a little bit about this triangle offense and what makes the AirRaid so simple. And I can tell you, I've talked to so many people over the years when I jumped back into the AirRaid universe back in 2011. And I just thought to myself, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this at my level. And now we know that that's like a crazy, thought, even though some of you guys still have it. But, there's people running AirRaid successfully at the middle school level, high school level, JV level, college level. And if you saw the Arizona Cardinals yesterday at the pro level too. So, you have to understand that it's not really as complicated as people think. And there's really 5 things that you need to think about when you talk about how simple the AirRaid is. And we're going to talk about those 5 things. And then we're going to jump in. I'm going to give you 3 examples of how the triangle offense in football can help you in your playbook. So here we go. First of all, what makes the AirRaid simple? Minimal concepts. We've talked about this dozens of times. There's dozens of videos on the channel. The courses talk about it. All this stuff talks about how there's minimal concepts in the AirRaid. So that's going to make it more simple than some more complex offense because you're just going to have more time and less things to understand. The concepts are progression-based. And if you're not teaching your quarterbacks to be progression-based in the AirRaid, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice. Look, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's different types of steak. There's different types of burgers. I mean, you can make chicken 100 different ways, and they all taste good. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I'm just telling you, in my experience, being progression-based is better. You don't want to pre-snap read and say, well, if I see this pre-snap, then I'm going to take this half of the field versus that. I think it takes away from the simplicity of the offense, and you really don't need to do that, especially at the high school level. But that's my opinion. In the comments down below, if you disagree, tell me what you do and tell me why. I'd be interested in hearing that. Maybe have somebody on the channel and let's debate it. We read grass, not people. And I know when I talk to people about the idea that we read grass and not people, one of the things they talk about, well, coach, you're really reading people. No, we're not. We're not focusing on a person. We're focusing on an area of the field. And the reason why I think that's important is that when you focus on an area of the field rather than a person, that when that quarterback sees that area open, he knows right now in his progression, throw the ball into the area. And receivers are taught they better get there. If they want the ball, they better get there. And if you're just waiting for guys to get open or what happens if a defensive guy's not paying attention, he gives you a false read. It just gets you in all kind of trouble. So I really like the fact in the AirRaid that we read grass, not people. This next one is the one we're going to talk about in today's video in length. We're going to talk about utilizing this triangle approach. A lot of our concepts have this triangle approach in it, and I think it's really interesting. I think Coach Mackey did a very similar video on this a couple weeks ago. I've been thinking about doing this video myself, so he did one, but I was like, well, I shouldn't do it. I'm gonna do it anyway because Coach Mackey's my guy. And we do a lot of similar stuff anyway because there's just so much you can talk about in the AirRaid. But we're going to talk about my opinions on the triangle concept here in a second. So we have this triangle approach, and then the 5th reason that makes it really, really simple is reps, reps, reps. All right, so let me give you a couple examples. I'm going to give you 3 examples today. So let's go into the first one. All right, so here we are, we're over in our Just Play software, and we're looking at our diagram for our stick concept. You know, you can call it whatever you want to call it. For us, it's 64, 65, and we will run stick to both sides. You know, we've talked about stick a number of times. You can go on the channel or look at some of the courses, and you can kind of get a big kind of to-do on that. But what I wanted to talk to you about is kind of how the triangle concept works in compasses with stick, and how you can make stick look like 4 different plays and still use kind of that same read, because that's really all it is. What you're doing is you're taking this area right here and you're putting it in a bind. So whether that's a strong safety, outside linebacker, or whatever it is, this piece of grass right here is the one you're trying to make go. And so here's how we do it. We're gonna read this circle to this circle to this circle. Now notice I don't have this piece of grass up here. We're reading grass, grass, grass. All right. So our quarterback in his drop, and it's gonna be kind of one big step back. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3. And so if he thinks he can win that piece of grass right away, he's gonna take it. And he kind of knows pre-snap, you know, where this guy's aligned. If he's in here, then he knows maybe he can take a deep ball. If he's a little bit off the hash, then he knows it's a hole shot. You know, that's a lot of your pre-snap read stuff. I mean, look, this stuff is simple, but it's still football. You got me? So we're looking at that. We're going to go grass, grass, grass. So this is that triangle concept. 1, 2, 3. And so we want our quarterback's head to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And so you're training these guys to do that over and over and over and over and over in that progression. So it's, you know, high, swing, shoot. High, swing, shoot. And once again, you know, I prefer the swing because I think it creates more separation. Some people prefer the shoot. You know, we could have a long, drawn-out argument about that. You know, and I'm with Coach Mackey on that deal. We're going to throw whichever one's open, okay? So here we go again. Let's look at something just a little bit different. Let's take this swing, and we're going to treat it. Oh, my bad. I got the number there. We're going to treat this just like we treat shallows. You know how we treat the bubbles in the shallows? We're going to go to this shallow bubble here with this guy. Let's see how, there we go. And we're going to take this guy here, and we're going to put him, let's move that bubble. You know, it's a good thing I'm a coach and not a graphic designer, right? So we're going to take that bubble, and we'll move this bubble back down here. Okay, now look what we're going to do. Corner, swing, shoot. Now we got Y corner. Same concept, same progression, same read. And you're telling your quarterback, hey, still, we're reading grass, grass, grass. Now, obviously, in this deal here, what we're telling the quarterback is, you know, based on where the grass is, you might want to throw him flat, you might want to throw him deep, and we'll jump in and show you some cut-ups here in a second of what we're talking about. And you guys have seen all the Y stick and all Y cut-ups, and we might get to the cut-ups, we might not. So we'll talk about it in a minute. So here we are, we're looking at that. Okay, now let's look at one other little concept. You know, something that this is a little bit different, that we do this, and I'm hoping to be able to do this spring. If you guys don't know, in North Carolina, we're not playing until February, so I'm not really excited about it. For the first time, I'm like, yo, I got to order coaching jackets. You know, you normally don't need jackets in North Carolina, but we do now. So what about if you were running flat? Let's put this circle out of the way so I can get to this guy right here. And then you took your tailback and ran angle. And that's a horrible drawing, but you're just gonna run a speed out with your Y. So now you're running flat. Well, look at it here. 1, 2, 3. Tailback angle into the third spot. So there you go. So there's your triangle progression with 3 different quick games. All right, so let's jump in and I'll show you a couple drop back concepts, and let's see if we can see how the triangle concept works with that one. All right, so here we are in the mesh play, and you can see really quickly just with the number concepts up there that we kind of have the same, the same deal, and it's the same really read as you would read stick or corner. You're still gonna go high, swing, mesh, and I know a lot of people, just because I haven't been making videos last month doesn't mean I haven't been paying attention to like social media and stuff like that. And I know there was kind of a discussion a couple of weeks ago on Twitter between a bunch of coaches about when you're supposed to read mesh, when you don't read mesh. if you should free release the back, if you shouldn't free release the back. And, some guys like the free release, some guys don't. And I just like the free release. I mean, because most of the time, I think I saw something the other day, every time that back stays in there, he ain't getting out. If he doesn't release right now, he's not getting out. And if he check releases, he's not getting out on the right timing, because we're gonna not change the progression. I'm not going to change a progression. I'm not going to have a defense dictate to me how I'm going to progress a play, because there's always an answer to every question. And if they're doing something that makes you have to leave that back end, and that means they're giving up something else. And your job as an offensive coordinator, a head coach, or play caller is to find that opening that they're giving you. So, we're going to read this 1, 2, 3. We're going to free release that back. And then it doesn't really matter which mesh you run. So this is the traditional old school how mummy mesh, where X and Y mesh. Remember, the Y always sets the crosshair at 6. X is coming underneath, slapping hands and all that good stuff, settling in zones, running through on man. We got a bunch of mesh videos on there. Got some good courses on CoachTube too, so check those out if you want to learn more about that. But eye progression, 1, 2, 3, same thing. Looking at this circle, this circle, this circle. Okay. Now you notice how the post is there. Okay, well, that tells you that's the circle we're looking at, which is right in here. And I think that's really important that you understand that, because when I'll show you in a couple of cut-ups here in a second why you're reading that piece of grass and not the piece of grass outside. You're reading that grass right there in that eye line, because if you have a tag, that also can tell you if the tag is going to be open right then. So, based on, if I'm driving right here and this corner is sitting right there, then I know right now I'm good. All right, and I'll show you a couple of cut-ups here in a second, and we'll talk about it. But it's the same thing. If I'm running the Washington State version, where we let me get out of here and get into one of the Cougar diagrams. If I'm running this diagram here, and if you guys want this playbook, we have our 2020 playbook over on CoachTube too. And if you're part of the mailing list, you actually can get it half price. If you want to get the mailing list, I'll put a link in the description on the video. But if you look at the 92 Cougar version, what we do pre-snap is the quarterback judges the outs, which one of the outs that he likes, and then he tells the back to go to that side. And so it's the same thing. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And I don't know why this 3 is sitting here. That's probably a bad thing on my part. But 1, 2, 3. Okay, if he sends it to the other side, then it's 1, 2, 3. It's the same triangle, and that's the cool thing about the what I call Cougar, which is the Washington State version, which is when you mesh the inside guys. I never really wanted to do that, because when I first learned the offense from Coach Mummy, I listened to him talk about mesh, and one of the things that he talked about was when you mesh the inside guys, it really didn't influence the safeties as much as you wanted to. Because over here, they usually read 2 to 1, and if 2 goes inside, he's automatically going to come here, and it really doesn't help you the way. But then, things evolve, and people have learned to play it a little differently. So he does run the mesh this way at some point. You can talk to him about it. He's got some stuff out there if you want to go through AirRaid certified or any of that other stuff. So, but anyway, it's the same thing. It's that 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's jump into some cut-ups. All right, so here we are over in our Team Extreme, and we're going to look at a couple of plays of mesh, and I think I got maybe 1 or 2 sticks in here too. But let's look at this one here. This is the Dallas Renegades. This is when Coach Mummy was down at the XFL, and this stuff is kind of out there. A lot of people can have access to it, but I only have like 2 or 3 clips, so I really don't have a ton of it. But you can kind of see right here that once this play pops off, you can see the triangle, and you can see the quarterback right away. He sees that first piece of grass is open. He's not playing any games with it. I'm gonna throw it. So there's your triangle. 1, 2, 3. And this, guys, is why you don't read mesh second. Okay, this is why you don't read mesh second, and this is why you stay in that same 1, 2, 3 order with your triangle progressions. Okay, so you want to go 1, 2, 3, and the reason why is look at the backside mesher. Is he there yet? Is he close enough to be that second read? What's going to happen right now, especially the speed of the game, if Landry has to come off that guy, if that guy's man covered and he's not open? Okay, now he's got to wait for the backside guy to get there second. And so he's automatically not going to come there, and he's probably going to have to throw it to the backside mesher. Okay, he's going to have to throw it to the backside mesher, and he's going to skip the best player on your offense generally, which is your tailback. And I think that's the other reason why you always read that guy too. All right, so you're just kind of coming through, bang, there it is. There it is from the end zone. Let's see if we can look at maybe one more copy. I haven't even looked at this play, so let's see what it looks like. Pretty much the same stuff. Here you go. You see them changing their depths. And this is out of two-back. A lot of guys have been asking me about two-back cut-ups, and you can kind of see what mesh looks like in two-back. But here it is. He's going to step up. And he goes into the backside mesh because he doesn't like what he sees. He says first grass here. He's making a check here. He likes it. You know, anytime down here, mesh is always a good check. So he's gonna look in there. He just doesn't like it. He sees this guy is sitting here, this guy's here, and so now he's gonna go find the mesh that he likes in the third bubble. And then, it just ends up being the big tight end that's going to sit down in there. So it's the same read. He just goes grass, 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 and it's not there, okay? And you just got to go in there. So that's why the triangle read is so simple for your quarterbacks. If you can train them to read those triangles and make those defenders go crazy, then you got a good shot right there. All right, let's see if we can't find some quick game stuff for you. A little bit of our Y corner film, and I wanted to talk to you about that because, I've showed this film so many times, but it's just... every time I get talking about this concept, it just becomes like the one that you need to see to understand. And it's so simple. When the quarterback sees that Y is not open yet, he doesn't like that grass, okay? That guy's there. He sees this guy in his grass. It's no big deal. So he goes 1, 2, 3. Now, the thing about it is he also sees in his peripheral, he sees these guys run into 2. So he knows right away that 3 is going to be wide open. Okay. And we had actually talked about this a little bit pregame, but it's that same progression of grass, grass, grass. And we caught him in man coverage here, and he had both of them. And, he had the slant, but he had the Y a little bit later. But we always talk about getting that ball out. And the other big strength about reading grass and doing progressions, guys, is it keeps your quarterback from getting hit. I can't tell you how important it is to coach timing to your quarterback. So, here he goes, 1, 2, 3, bang. And it's the same thing. Grass, grass, grass. 1, 2, 3. And it's just such an easy concept. If you're not teaching your quarterbacks to read triangles, then I think it's kind of tough. So all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit weird making a video again after not doing it for a month, man, but I really appreciate you guys sticking with the channel. You guys have been watching the older videos and doing things like that, and I can't tell you enough, man. We're almost to, we're over 4,000 subscribers, which is just crazy to me. I can't believe 4,000 of you guys are interested in it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit weird making a video again after not doing it for a month, man, but I really appreciate you guys sticking with the channel. You guys have been watching the older videos and doing things like that, and I can't tell you enough, man. We're almost to, we're over 4,000 subscribers, which is just crazy to me. I can't believe 4,000 of you guys are interested in the stuff I've done. So look, like I said, man, make sure to join the channel if you can. Be a member. At the end of every month, we'll give a catalog away to a random member, and if this video gets 200 likes in the first couple of days, I'll give away a free Foundations code on Twitter. So as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and spin it to win. Stuff I've done this. So look, like I said, man, make sure to join the channel if you can. Be a member. At the end of every month, we'll give a catalog away to a random member, and if this video gets 200 likes in the first couple of days, I'll give away a free Foundations code on Twitter. So as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and spin it to win.